welcome. Thank you for being here at Earthlove. We are thrilled that you're joining us. I'm Nicole Palmietto. I am the National New Play Network producer in residence here at Horizon Theater.
Hi, I'm Lisa Adler. I'm co-artistic producing director here at Horizon Theater. Yay!
Lisa, do you want to share a little bit about where this show idea came from
Sure,
in honor
yes.
of Earth Day?
Yeah, well, we did a production of last Mother's Day. We did a lovely event they called Beautiful Crazy Moms that had about 12 or 13 short pieces by local writers, some non-local, but mostly local writers. And we decided to do a celebration of Earth Day with pieces that were from mostly local writers, local talent, getting lots of people together to do an Earth Day celebration about 2 weeks late, but better late than never. As people say, we always have to be taking care of the planet. So these are people's riffs on their thoughts about the future, about sustainability, about the environment. And there's all different kinds of styles of plays and writers. And we've gathered a big ensemble of people. So we're not back together live yet, but at least we get to be together with a lot of our artists joining in for this fun celebration tonight. So thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. So there are 12 short pieces that you are going to see tonight. And there are about 40 artists who have participated in making this event happen. The show will run around 2 hours long, maybe a little bit over. There's no intermission, but it's virtual, so feel free to take care of yourself as you need to. You can keep your cameras on to engage and show your support, but please do keep your mics turned off. If you would like to learn more about all of our artists who are involved in this show, we have a digital program for you that you can download. The link will be in our chat and on our website.
I want to thank the people that make us possible. You know, we have been here over this time since we've been closed for over a year, but people have still been giving their support. So we are here. We've been able to maintain our staff and our virtual programming that we've been doing since last March with Amy as our Zoom master and digital media expert who's been helping us through this. But want to thank everybody that sponsor us. I know we have donors here tonight, Alan, Jessica, Susan, many more that are with us, but also our government funders, the Georgia Council for the Arts, the Fulton County Department of Arts and Culture, the City of Atlanta Office of Cultural Affairs, the National Endowment for the Arts, and in a big thank you to the PPP and the federal government has allowed us to keep going this year without shutting down. So we are really grateful for the CARES Act funding that has been made possible for us. We are paying all the artists tonight small amounts of money. We're thrilled that they could join us, but every bit of money that you give towards us goes to the artists tonight. So if you make a donation, we'll have a link in there. We'd love to have your support in that way so that we can help support their work on all this incredible stuff we're doing here tonight. Okay.
Now, without further ado, we give you Earthlove.
Hi, I'm Sherry. Growing up in Southern California, I remember having my lungs ache from smog alerts. And then when I went off to college, we learned what was going to happen in the future if we didn't stop using so much fossil fuels. That was 2 generations ago, and now we're at the tipping point. Unfortunately, a lot of us find it easy to ignore the thoughts of dire consequences until it inconveniences us personally, and that's what my play is about tonight. It's evening in an affluent Atlanta home in the not too distant future. Rob and Julie are settling in with their drinks of choice in order to plan the trip of a lifetime.
You ready?
Dishes are done. Is Miles in bed?
Oh yeah. Our little go-kart outing tuckered him out.
It is so fun having him here for the whole weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I sure hope Tyler and Mackenzie are enjoying their parental R&R. Whoops, hold on. Let me get,
Oh, who's that?
I don't know why he's calling me. Hey, hey, Evan? Yeah, how the hell are you? Jealous? Great. I've only been retired one day, but I think I'm going to like it just fine. Travel, man, travel. In fact, Julie and I were just sitting down to start planning a trip. What's up? Oh, sure, sure. Send them over. hmm I'll just pop them in the mail after I sign them and go home, buddy. You shouldn't be working this late. Take it from someone who did that way too much. Yeah. Thanks, Ev. I will. I will. But, yeah. Okay. Hey, Evan says hi. There are a couple of papers I forgot to sign when I left the office yesterday. Hey. This is going to be good.
Yes, it is.
And I want you to know, I appreciate everything you did. Kids, house, PTA, church, which is why we are going to blow it out and have the trip of a lifetime.
Oh, I am definitely up for it. Okay, where do we start?
Bucket list or old favorites?
Some of both. I'll look up places online while we brainstorm.
Ooh, and I will have a drink.
Why don't we start in the US and then end up in a hub city and then fly out for overseas?
Sounds good.
Ooh, we always liked Key West.
Sure. What?
Sea level rise. Our favorite place is closed until further notice due to extensive work to elevate major roads in the area. Had you heard about this?
I don't listen to all of that doom and gloom crap. It's depressing. Probably just finally getting around to dealing with normal seasonal flooding. Oh, how about another trip to New Orleans? Bourbon Street.
Let's see here. Oh, due to an enormous increase in extreme rain events, hotels and tourist sites are severely limited and travel insurance is not available for this destination.
Are you kidding? Okay, so let's get out of the Gulf area. San Francisco. That's always been fun. Or is that too near a coast?
Probably. Ooh, how about Napa Valley?
Oh, yes. Wine tours.
Oh, not anymore. Listen, due to the new normal of blisteringly hot summer days combined with smoke damage from annual wildfires, the area is no longer hospitable to the premium wine grapes once grown there. The result has been devastating to many businesses related to wine and tourism.
Okay, forget Napa. Let's go straight to the Rhone Valley.
Oh, I love France.
Oh, what's not to like? Other than the occasional attitude.
Oh no.
What? What?
Rising global temperatures have caused an 85% decrease in production, and the grapes that survive are overripe with poor flavor and mouthfeel. Ugh.
Okay. Let's think high and cold. Alaska.
Sounds good. All right. Alaska, tourism. Here we go. Ooh, over twice the size of Texas. Oh, many opportunities for outdoor adventures, kayaking, hiking in Denali National Park, abundant natural wonders.
Now we're talking.
But due to rapid thawing in the nearby Arctic, major changes, coastal erosion, sea ice retreat, melting permafrost.
Shit.
No. Ice caps receding, landslides, wildfires.
Where are you getting this? The Sierra Club?
Condé Nast Traveler.
I didn't know Al Gore wrote for them.
Actually, it's Skylar Morton.
Whatever. Oh, what about Glacier National Park? That's more inland.
Mhm. No glaciers left.
None? Then why call it Glacier National Park? It's false advertising.
How about, I don't know, the Alps? If we plan it right, we could do some skiing.
Yeah. Who needs glaciers when you can have skiing?
Oh, significant snowmelt has drastically shortened the ski season. Oh, however, spa treatments, horseback riding, and tennis are available year-round, weather permitting.
I am not going to the Alps to play tennis, God damn it.
Well, and there's a 5-year waiting list for ski reservations and no travel insurance.
Try some other international destinations. What are you looking at?
Rio de Janeiro.
Really?
Oh, I've always thought it sounded like a fun place to go. Music, dancing, colorful outfits. I think we should go for a fun place.
I don't like spicy food.
Well, you won't be getting any.
Because?
Flooding,
Dear God.
beaches, the airport, some inland neighborhoods. Also, landslides, water shortages, and rampant disease.
Sounds really fun. Why the hell didn't we know all this was going on?
It's not like we don't watch the news.
Where they said climate change is a hoax or socialist or something. Let's start thinking bucket list. The Great Barrier Reef. I've always wanted to go snorkeling around that.
Okay. Rising ocean temperatures, coral bleaching, and mass die-off.
It's over 1,000 miles long, for Christ's sake.
Well, it looks like it's not completely gone. Oh, but a lot of it is.
The Amazon. It's supposed to be warm and rainy, right? Maybe I can finally bag a jaguar.
Extreme droughts.
Droughts?
Large-scale dieback. Wildfires.
In the Amazon?
Yeah, like 90,000 a year.
I just had a horrible thought.
Oh, well, that sounds appropriate given what we know about
What about here? What about where we live?
Atlanta. Well, let me check. Oh,
What? What?
Atlanta. Extreme heat with summer temperatures as high as 115 degrees. Floodwaters likely to contain raw sewage, petroleum products, animal feces, and dead animals. Oh my God. Georgia as a whole can expect more frequent wildfires, nuisance flooding, and sea level rise. The beach house. In Savannah, the kids, listen, more major hurricanes could bring once in 100-year floods every year. Oh my God. Look, maybe instead of a trip, we should be using our savings to find a new place to live, find a safe place that isn't going to be affected.
Think inland. What about the Midwest?
Oh, dear God. You want to spend the rest of your life in the Great Plains?
It's not all farmland, you know. There's Chicago.
Tornadoes.
In Chicago?
Yes, I heard it on the radio. Well, they're predicting more tornadoes in Midwestern suburbs and city centers. And even if they don't hit right in Chicago, where are all the climate refugees going to go when their homes get destroyed? Do you want a family of 4 camping out in our front yard?
Climate refugees?
People whose homes and jobs are, being destroyed by extreme weather. So they leave their countries and to try to find a place to survive. Yeah, it's right here.
Where are you finding all this crap? The progressive websites?
Let's see. No. United Nations Refugee Agency, Brookings.edu, Migration Data Portal.
We're only in our 60s. We could live another 30 years. What are we supposed to do? Hey, what's the matter, buddy?
Can't sleep.
I'm very glad that Horizon is doing this event centered around Earthlove because it prompted me to write this play about something that's very important to me and important to all of us. I'm also lucky I got to work with Mira and fun and sometimes very scary cast. So thanks. I wrote this play about Earthlove for kids though, because maybe it won't be as easy for kids to know what's going on in the world. So let me introduce you to Mother Nature's cousin Ned.
Funny how small that Earth can appear, this far beyond the stratosphere. Another satellite? How curious they are, that human race. Why are they wandering way out in space? Why the sudden fascination with space exploration? The International Space Station has a revolving door. Why do they need new frontiers to explore? New mountains to climb, new vistas to chase? Where they're exploring is hardly a place. Mars is a bore. Now Earth, I adore. Water, fresh air, Mars doesn't compare. There's no daisies on Mars, no orchid, no lily, and even more silly, no trees. Oh, please. Why would they bother with pondering Mars and not sitting on grass and gazing at stars? How curious they are, that human race. Why are they wandering way out in space? Satellites, SpaceX, and now Sputnik 2 were never a part of that primordial stew. Saturn's too showy, flashing those rings. Jupiter's so large it has temperature swings. Mars is too cold, Venus too hot. Earth is nature's most perfect spot. Earth has the ideal atmosphere. Why are they messing around way up here? Is all this fuss a flirtation? Or are they on a hunt for a new destination? To tell you the truth, I haven't a clue. Time to catch a cloud and pin it down. Time for Mother Nature to take a spin around. A return trip to Earth may be long overdue. What? Where am I? This can't be Earth. This smoke doesn't feel like... No, it's not. Is it fog? Oh my goodness. It can't be. It isn't. It's smog. This air isn't fresh. This sky isn't blue. I handed the reins over too soon. It's my fault. I'm bereft. It's clear Earth is in trouble. I should never have left. Nature should not be a guinea pig. The ground's a bit shaky on planets this big. I should never have given my cousin the gig.
Mother Nature?
Oh, Cousin Ned? Oh, is that you?
I mean,
All your petals are gray. You're wilting and withering. You're wasting away. And likewise this planet.
let me explain.
It wasn't like this when I left you to man it. It was a cushy position. You had one simple mission. How hard could it be, they said. Give him a chance.
But I nurtured your garden. I watered your plants.
Really? They said you could do this. Leave it to Ned. I had my doubts, but you begged and you pled. What is that circling round over my head?
Drone. It's a drone.
Frankly, under the circumstance, my first cousin needed a second glance.
That really isn't fair.
I needed reliable backup. Your time spent on Earth, it clearly doesn't stack up. Steel beams tower where flowers once grew, their concrete walls obstructing the view.
You see, the population, it had an explosion.
I mean, you call that a coastline?
I call that erosion.
It was a cushy position. You had one simple mission.
To keep the environment in pristine condition?
Yes.
To nourish and cultivate?
Yes.
To keep all of nature in its natural state?
Yes.
Oh, Mother Nature. I'm afraid it's too late.
Too late?
The climate is already changing.
I set you up here with more seeds to be sown near rivers that ran in a temperate zone, where more vegetables and more fruits could be grown.
Yes, but where fresh water once flowed, toxins now spew. Where amber grains waved, whole cities grew.
What in the world is my world coming to?
And what you didn't know, or you just failed to mention, is that when people were left to their own invention in the name of progress, they made their own rules. They made more machinery and more tools, which began to rely heavily on fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels?
It can get a little
sticky?
Icky. What they couldn't have known is some solutions to their problems
caused more problems of their own?
Exactly. Earth really started to turn a page on around the industrial age. That industrial revolution is what started pollution. Abandoned factories now line the Rust Belt. Snow-capped mountains are starting to melt.
No!
But it got even more drastic when commercial industries dabbled in plastic.
Plastic?
It fills up landfills far and wide. Fish are found with gobs inside.
No!
DDT is still in pesticide. Too many people. Not enough rice. Even glaciers are skating on thin ice.
When I left here, this was all paradise.
I know Mother Nature. And you know the really sad part of the story?
I'm afraid to ask.
Well, you better not take inventory. I don't think you can take it. Of all the species that once roamed Earth, some of them didn't make it.
You mean?
To be more succinct.
The woolly mammoth?
Extinct.
Oh!
The climate is already changing.
Is that why humans are wandering way out in space, escaping the damage they've done to this place? But this planet is perfect.
It is. Or it was. This is what indifference does.
I left Earth in your care. What did I get in exchange? Climate change.
I know I was supposed to serve and protect, but in retrospect, it's not simply neglect. Not knowing isn't smart, but what really breaks your heart is when we know better, but we still don't do our part.
What? You mean after all this, human beings are still being...
Watch out! Be careful.
Oh. That's only a bear. I remember bears when they were just cubs. I'd scratch their bare ears, give their bellies a rub. Oh, and this bear is no grizzly, now is he?
I'm not here to scare you. I really don't care to.
You see?
And that makes this the most dangerous bear.
Dangerous? Come on, he's cute.
Oh, but inside someone who is otherwise nice, a dark inner bear could be lurking somewhere. And the worst things occur due to those who don't care when an ordinary person shows their I don't care bear. Not the obvious bear that roars right out loud, watching you tremble in fear. The I don't care bear is more subtle than that, whispering low in your ear.
Don't worry. Someone else will take care of it.
He lulls us to sleep as he creeps in our beds, curls up beside us, and he gets in our heads.
It's only fake news.
Oh, what a difference indifference makes.
You mean it wasn't evil forces that stripped our resources?
No. Our natural resources were tapped by ordinary people just taking a nap. Turning their back on what used to be banned, burying their head in what used to be sand.
Your bear may not care, but this earth is my pride.
It's no use, Mother Nature. Believe me, I tried. I can't do anything anyway. I'm only one, well, not person, but a...
Only one can do a lot. At 15, Greta Thunberg spoke at the United Nations. Alexandria Villaseñor was only 13 when she was caught in the California campfires that sparked her environmental action.
Shia Bastida started Fridays for Future in Mexico when she was 17.
Yes, Carl Smith in Alaska, 18. Jamie Margolin, 17.
Dreamers, dreamers, dreamers.
Climate summits, global action.
Wildfires, flash floods, frozen Texas tundras.
Oh! Ah!
The planet has set an alarm!
Why did you do that?
The greatest step that you can take is when you dare to dream awake.
I'm awake now.
We say we'll do something one of these days, but one of these days is today. We recycle, but recycling's not enough. We buy packages wrapped in packages.
Which are sent out wrapped in more packages.
Wow. Well, I don't want to be that guy.
Then pay attention to the things you buy.
Our demand for plastics is expanding, so the production of new plastics is exploding. There is a plastics crisis.
What a waste. Literally. We can't recycle it all, so it ends up in landfills, mountains of trash, or...
the ocean.
Or even worse, sometimes the excess is just burned. Their toxic, poisonous fumes hover in the air where people live, where children play.
We have to do more. We have to reduce, reuse, recycle. But more importantly, we have to react.
React. Small steps now can make a huge impact.
Mother Nature, you did it.
We
My
did
colors
it.
are coming back.
We did it.
Springtime already? I did it too?
So better beware of the bears who don't care, of those bears that are roaring when they're not in bed snoring.
The bears who don't care, who feel safe ignoring what they should be exploring.
Beware of those bears that are roaring, because some days we bears are in you.
So be a dear. Do your share.
And always wake that sleeping bear.
Roar.
Good evening, everyone. Tent Cities, my play, was inspired by two big events. One was a trip to northern China a couple of years ago. I was part of a group of international artists invited to write about nature and the environment. I fell in love with trees. I mean, I really fell in love with trees, like tree hugging love. Then I moved to Atlanta just before the pandemic into a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood where tents began popping up on an empty lot near my house. Tent Cities is still a play in progress. You're seeing tonight a brief excerpt. My fiction roots are showing here. I envision the main character, Revel, a young girl who's living in a tent in the backyard of an abandoned house. Her uncle lives in a car in the driveway. Her mother is not around at the moment, and this is going to be the first night she'll spend in the tent out in the backyard by herself. I also envision Revel having a series of adventures in other environments and using more theatrical elements to tell the story, like shadow puppets and other storytelling techniques, to tell the story of other living beings whose homes are being threatened by climate change.
Tent Cities, Atlanta, Georgia, 2021. Now, on stage, center stage, there is a tent made of opaque paper or cloth. The tent lights up from the inside for shadow puppet storytelling. Stage right is a tree-shaded back porch and driveway of an abandoned house. In the driveway is the front end of a 1963 ermine white Lincoln Continental with suicide rear hinge doors, white wall tires, and red leather interior. The interior has been made up into a bedroom. That is where Uncle sleeps. It's got a working radio, and he's got a library in the glove compartment, and a hot pot for coffee is plugged into the cigarette lighter. Uncle Stingray is working on his car, perhaps making soup in the engine/kitchen.
Revel, a 13-year-old girl, enters the backyard. She gets in her car, turns up the radio.
Hey, where are you going so fast?
Where's Mom?
Well, good afternoon to you, favorite niece.
I'm your only niece.
Your mama's not here. Oh, what you got there? The Secret Life of Trees. I used to talk to the trees.
Did they talk back?
They're communicating with us all the time. See that tree over there?
The roots are thick.
It's connected to that tree and that one and all the other trees.
It's like a family of trees.
Exactly. The root systems are all connected like a whole community.
Wow.
Now, you know, since your mama's not here, you're going to have to sleep out here by yourself tonight. You going to be all right?
I'm not scared. She enters the tent and switches on the fairy lights that the tent is surrounding the ceiling. She falls asleep to the night sounds. A little later, she wakes up to see light passing through the hole of a tent. She exits the tent into the forest.
I've been waiting for you. From the time I was a girl, tradition dictated that I would be a bride. But I never imagined I'd grow up and marry a tree. My family fought trees for generations in wars that reduced the forest to acres of moss-covered stumps and miles of white smoky ash. The forest that flanked the northern edge of our town was made up of beautiful pine, silver birch, fir, spruce, and many other species. During the winter bonfire season, my parents and I joined the community to gather around the crackling logs to tell stories of how the forest once dominated and threatened the survival of our town. Storytellers created visions of trees that grew at such alarming rates they overtook everything in their path, uprooting houses, cracking open the earth, sucking animals, men, women, and children into the soil to feed on their blood and bones. As a child, I was taught to never linger past where the forest was fenced in. It was said that the forest absorbed children into the soul and grew a breed of half human, half trees. There were tales of female spirits in the trees who could call on the energy in the wood, even dead wood, to cause the plants to grow taller than a house before your eyes and change a seed into a towering tree in the blink of an eye. These spirits were believed to cause floods and the rivers to grow hot. These tales terrified normal children. But I was not sure I believed these old tales. I had only known people to murder trees, not the other way around. My first memory of a yearly bonfire, I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I stood staring into the flames, watching horrified as the small trees were uprooted and tossed on the bonfire. I seemed to be the only one who saw the faces of the trees twisted in pain, the only one to hear their anguished screams. I refused to go again. The forest beyond the fence was thick and seemed impenetrable. From my upstairs window, I observed the inhabitants of the forest through powerful binoculars. It was home to wild birds, black grouse, owls, and woodpeckers. At night, I looked out into the forest, wondering what lay beyond the darkness. The trees lost many battles, but we were losing the war. The air was getting dirty as new industry and bigger cars and trucks made their way up the mountain. Dark clouds of pollution floated over our heads many afternoons, choking the old and the very young into coughing fits. Almost everyone in the village wore breathing masks to filter the air, and those who could afford it sipped from portable oxygen tanks. For many days, each month, the pollution was thick with dense dark clouds. When the gray air rolled in, the sounds of the sirens could last for weeks until the strong winds blew in from the east. The forest kept pulling up their roots and moving further and further away. Even so, my community held an annual competition for chopping down trees. Speed chopping kindling, stump carving, bark stripping contests. The aim of all these activities was the same: to humiliate, scar, and destroy the trees beyond their usefulness. My father said thinning the trees helped the forest. My mother said it was profitable. But what's a profit without clean air to breathe? Even though the events that maimed and destroyed the trees were believed to be essential to our well-being and safety, I discovered an interconnection between us, humans and trees. We could not live without each other. One year, the birds stopped singing. I thought the world would end. I could not stop crying. I had become the strange girl who loved trees. I stared into the forest and sometimes walked in my sleep and could be found at sunrise leaning against a tree in my yard. My family believed I was under a spell and consulted with the oldest person in the community.
There is only one way to break it.
We must go into the forest.
She must marry a tree.
That year, my parents were especially keen on taking me to bonfire festivities. My mother stripped a bark of a young white birch and fashioned me a wedding dress, a crown of pine needles, and a veil fashioned from strings of pine seed painted red. The veil covered my face and fell to my waist, and it made a pretty sound when I turned to look back at the log house I'd never see again. My father slipped onto my feet a pair of wooden shoes carved with flowers and dragonflies and small animals. He wiped his eyes, saying the pollution was strong. I saw the tears in his eyes. He did not see mine. Just before sunset, huge bonfires were lit near the mouth of the forest. The fence was opened by the strongest people in the village, and the trees seemed to draw back to make a path for us to enter. Each villager held a flaming torch, and once inside, the forest canopy seemed to lean in and block out the light from the bonfires behind us and all human sound. The brushes brushed against each other, making sounds like whispers. The forest revealed new colorful trees I'd never seen before. Deep trunks with yellow canopies, blue-green roots twisted up hundreds of feet into the air. Pink and gold feather bushes with purple berries stood beside ordinary pine and birch trees. My parents and a few elders walked beside me until we came into an open clearing. It was then I could see the tree that they had picked for me. It was a lone sentry that stood defiantly as if protecting the earth around it. Its smooth orange blood bark was textured like leather. Standing over 7 feet tall, its upper branches were thick and twisted together like braided hair touching the ground. I shifted my feet in my wooden shoes, looking for a way out. Now I was terrified. What if I was swallowed by the earth or eaten by a tree? The white-haired elder waved a small axe above his head as he circled the tree, chanting words I didn't understand. When the time came to destroy the tree, I screamed and wrapped my arms around its trunk. The first wind doused every flame of every torch. The braided branches lifted from the ground to wrap around the waist of my white birch wedding dress. Another stronger, more violent wind pushed through the forest. Large branches came flying through the woods as if they were being pitched at us in the darkness. Birds flew at the elders, pecking at the air near their faces, singing agitated songs, furiously flapping their wings. I could hear the villagers trying to fight the forest, but the wind kept blowing like mad. I tightened my grip on the branch of my tree husband as he ran deeper into the forest. I kicked off my pretty wooden shoes and flexed my toes that felt as if they were growing like roots. The cries and shouts of my people turned to whispers and finally faded away as the forest pushed them back out of hearing. Dark purple velvet stretched across the sky. Stars began to twinkle through the leaves like fairy lights. My tree husband let me down gently onto the ground and we walked further into the forest. As soon as my bare feet touched the ground, a light snow began to fall, covering our tracks. My footsteps were the first to touch the snow. I felt like a child again, catching the snowflakes on my tongue. My tree husband shook his branches, showering me with tiny snowflakes. There were wide open smiles of welcome on every face and every tree. We played together, the forest and I. Moonlight filtered through the branches, reflecting off the snow so brightly. I barely noticed night becoming day. The sun rose and laughed as the melting snow sparkled. The earth seems to have moved. The distance between myself and the trees appears closer. My perspective shifts. We are not so different, the trees and I. We watch the sunrises and sunsets over the lake. Birds nest in our upper branches. Pale blue eggs hatch and fill the air with bird song. I am in love with the trees. I begin to think like a tree, speak the secret language of trees. At night, I open my branches and wiggle the tender leaves at my fingertips and turn my face towards the stars. All around us, the trees inhale and exhale until the soft hush is the music of the forest. Trees like to cuddle. Our breath grows more relaxed, deep. Each breath we take cleanses the air. Each exhale will save a life tonight. We breathe together, pulling the polluted air down into our trunks and deep in our roots. All night, we cleanse the air with our breath. When I sleep, I dream in the language of trees. Uncle!
Hey. Slow your Tootsie Roll, baby girl.
Uncle, last night I talked to the trees. Did you know that the trees breathe at night for us? Did you know that the trees breathe at night for us? Did you know?
I knew.
Hello,
Hey.
I'm Q.
And I'm Brooklyn. And with the sake of planet Earth in the hands of two ordinary people, Mother Nature calls for an emergency meeting. At the mercy of RuPaul's fracking farm and the current state of the environment, our friends Olivia and Chris make a compromise with Tara and learn why you need to respect your mother.
This is Operation SGE.
The play begins with Chris and Olivia seated in the confines of a small cold room. The walls and floors are covered with vines and foliage, and on the back wall, a poster of RuPaul.
Where's Tara? We've been waiting for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, she's never late. I hope she's okay.
She seemed kind of off on the phone when she asked us to meet at RuPaul's fracking ranch.
This is RuPaul's?
Are you a fan?
I'm familiar with her work. Might have dibble-dabbled in a few drag race seasons, but hey.
Tara enters through a door hidden among the back wall. She is deathly ill, and she is hacking. And she is sweating.
Oh, there you are, Tara. You're late.
And you look awful.
It's because of you. You people did this to me.
Oh, here we go again. Another meeting where you complain about our cars, our cigarettes, our nuclear waste that we dump into the oceans. Give me a break. Okay, it's the same thing every single Earth Day.
Olivia, let's just listen to what she has to say. Tara, what would you like to discuss this year?
No more discussions. This is it. I'm finished.
What do you mean by finished?
Every year, we agree on new ways for you guys to better the environment. And every year, you give me a big middle finger and prove that you're just as toxic as the waste you dump.
I have sensitive teeth. I can't drink without a straw. What do you want me to do, Tara? Just take the pain?
Precisely. You have no choice now but to endure.
What on earth are you talking about?
Don't you dare use the E word with me.
Tara walks up to the back wall and pulls down a vine, making a clutter of vines wrapped around a man fall from the ceiling.
Who's that?
Hank.
Who is Hank?
Hank, the oil fracker. One
What?
of RuPaul's finest.
This is not making any sense.
I brought you all here to RuPaul's fracking ranch because it signifies why I must end you and why I kept you this long to begin with. What you give and what you take. RuPaul, my hero, and the greatest of your kind to walk this earth. Imagine my surprise when I stumbled upon her fracking site. My idol is killing me, and so are you. All of you are.
Look, I'm an intern. I'm unpaid. I'm only here because Ru.
Hank.
Tara, You have to let Hank go. He has nothing to do with this.
Representatives of the human race, it is with great frustration that I must rescind our treaty of peace and put an end to the damage that you have done after all these years.
You can't break our treaty. It's a treaty.
I wrote it on Google Docs and shared it with you, and neither of you accepted the share request.
I'll read the Google Doc.
Forget about the Google Doc. You don't care about the billions of lives you'll be taking away?
I don't care about me. No one even calls me Mother Nature anymore. It's Terra this and Terra that. I am a forgotten thought. So I propose that you all perish with the waste you littered this planet with. There's not enough Dawn soap in the world that can clean up this mess. So I'm going to end all of you, starting with
No. Please, don't start with Hank.
Look, Tara, you just need to calm down. We're doing the best we can. We've been reducing, reusing, recycling. I drive a freaking Prius like a school counselor, and I've been letting my yellow mellow for longer than I'd like to admit. So if you could just take a deep breath.
Suddenly, the vines from the walls and floors bind Olivia and Chris's hands and feet in the chairs they're seated in.
I've had enough lip from you, Miss One Flush Wonder. The time has come for me to put an end to the human race and save this planet.
But if you kill us all, then there will be no more drag race.
I've thought about that, Chris. But that is a sacrifice I am willing to take.
Wait, we have a plan.
No more empty promises.
No, seriously, it's top secret, but if it's the only way to stop this, then we have no choice but to tell you about Operation SGE.
It's Operation SGE.
You are walking on thin ice.
It's an experiment we've planned to make super genomic environmentalists. They'll be released into the world and save the environment. Our prototype, Greta Thunberg, she has been making excellent strides. But unfortunately, we caught a little friction with the prior president.
You guys created Greta Thunberg?
From scratch.
Impressive. How will I know this will work?
Our studies have shown that SGEs will sway younger generations for caring more about the planet. If we get the kids to care, we can change the trajectory of our planet.
I believe the children are our future.
Hank, please.
How can I trust you? We've been through this before.
She's got a point.
Hank!
Sorry, ma'am.
Just give us some more time. We promise everything will be fine.
"20 years. I give you 20 years to clean up this mess, or the whole world dies."
Even RuPaul?
Even RuPaul, Hank.
So we have ourselves a deal here?
Deal.
Great. So it's settled. You have nothing to worry about, Mother.
We'll see.
Tara releases Olivia and Chris from the vines.
All right then. I guess we'll be leaving. See you next Earth Day.
So what about Hank?
I'll be keeping Hank.
For my unpaid internship.
Chris and Olivia shrug their shoulders and leave, leaving Hank and Tara by themselves. Hank looks at Tara and...
I believe that you...
Boogity, 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 boo. You think they bought it?
We'll see in 20 years, as long as they respect their mother.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Hi, I'm Mary Lynn Owen, and I'm so happy to be a part of Horizon's Earthlove celebration, and I'm contributing something that's very close to home for me. In fact, it's my garden, my front yard garden. Just here's a look at it. It's got everything in it and the kitchen sink. It's an accumulation of a lot of years with lots of broken dishes. You can see that. And some of those were broken accidentally. Lots of things I've found, and you know, my garden is a living thing. It's always a work in progress, and my garden and I are in constant conversation. And then there was last summer when I was marooned in my home. I'm wondering if I will ever, ever, ever work in the theater again, or even see the inside of a theater again. And my garden, of all times, decides that it's time to put on a Broadway show. So I wrote a poem about that while I was sort of trapped inside my house as an audience member. The poem is called Off Stage. The front yard is now a play, with dahlias, the scene stealers, smack center stage, ridiculous in their costumes of deep magenta red and neon yellow, stealing focus, or trying to, from Elephant Ear, stage right, who presides King Lear-like, at least Lear Act 1, imperious, rugged, all the while hiding his secret that he could topple in a second were not his thickest stalk roped to a nearby chair. Stage left, we find Green Pepper, springing up out of nowhere in a throng of striped petunias, ruining their cameo, horning in. Down center is the Marigold Chorus, all tall, long-legged, with only 2 or 3 blooms among them, bit parts. They're walk-ons, begonias, coleus, leading Lady Rose, whose part grows smaller every year. They're old-timers, gardenia, St. John's wort, who lean back and tell how they shot up fast way back when, and how they know better now than to waste a nice bloom on a Monday. Less is more, they say, and no one listens. It is the daily and nightly performance, sometimes called wonder, or growing old, or the feasting of hecklers, or the same show we did yesterday, except that it never is. They're the little things. One broken stalk, one sideways shoot that's never been there before, one 11 o'clock hour of a solo, some lilac in purple, showing up finally, breaking hearts that make it new. The understudies never go on. Why miss the chance, say the players. In stage whispers you can hear them. To strut just a little, they say, but more than that. To give yourself up for the taking, a living sacrifice, on behalf of those poor captive souls who stand at the window, watching, mouthing lines, and longing for the footlights.
I am Neely Gossett, and this is an excerpt from my play, A Year Without Summer. After A volcanic eruption causes major environmental changes. Nadine, an American scientist, travels to India to understand the disappearance of a subspecies of butterflies. There she meets Maeve, an amateur butterfly enthusiast.
Hi, little one. Stop by to say hello and dry off for a little bit. You're burning up.
The rain is red.
You okay?
The remaining particles from the volcano mix with the rain.
I know. It happened before.
Not while I've been here. It's red rain.
Come here.
I've got to tell you something.
You've got a fever.
I saw something.
Sit down. Let me get you a bottle of water.
You're the only person I can talk to about this.
This one is warm. I don't have any cold ones.
I need you to listen to me.
I have some Tylenol in a bag somewhere.
You're the only person that will believe me.
I hope it's not expired.
I saw a butterfly.
Go ahead and take this so your fever can go down.
It was a species I had never seen before.
Use the water to wash it down.
Did you hear me?
It's your fever.
When I got up this morning, something told me to start walking.
That something was probably a virus, maybe a bacterial infection.
Just before it started to rain, I followed it. I couldn't catch it. There's a new species out there, I know it.
Your brain is going to be fried from the fever if you don't bring it down.
But I know what I saw. I need to go back out there when the rain stops.
You can go back out there when your fever's gone.
Wait. It shouldn't be raining. It's not monsoon season.
It doesn't have to be monsoon season for there to be rain.
I know that. But this rain is different. It was so sudden. When I heard it thunder, something in my body told me to start walking. I walked deep in the jungle until the trees turned a dark green I hadn't seen before. And the sky was black, but not black like it's nighttime, but darker than a storm. I've never seen colors like that before. And I didn't just see them. I could smell the colors. I could actually smell the green and black and the red from the rain. I could smell the colors and I could feel the sound of the rain pulsing in my veins. It was like my blood and the red rain were the same.
I think you need to lie down.
I kept walking. Every time I heard thunder, it made me go faster and faster until I got to the ruins of a staircase in the jungle. The stairs were covered in tree roots. It used to be a temple. I don't know how I knew that, but I just knew it. I kept thinking, shit, I bet there are rabid mongoose hiding around here. But then I saw a butterfly land on the staircase. I know it's a new species. When I started to follow it, the water around me started rising so fast, it was up to my knees. And then my waist, I just gave into the water and floated. It brought me back here. To you. I think you're magical. I think you're a part of all this magic.
Let's get you inside.
You don't believe me?
We just need to focus on bringing your fever down.
You've got to believe me. I need your help.
In this piece by Lee Knoll, you will meet a scientist and hear an interesting TED Talk of sorts about, well, God and sex and nature and all the things that we didn't know about trees and their mating rituals.
Well, at first, I didn't know what I was seeing. I mean, I knew what I was there to study, but what I was there to study isn't what I ended up pursuing. I mean, I fulfilled the reason I was there. I completed the research. But I never expected to find this. Science, the scientific community, we were not prepared for this. Not because it's out of the question, but because we never really stopped to consider it. I was there to study insects. I'm an entomologist. I specialize in the study of insects. I had a grant to study the relationship between insects and fruit-bearing trees, with a focus on papayas. That was my focus. It was that narrow. So I'm there, and the first thing I notice is that papayas, they're surprising because they have 3 different genders. Now, I hadn't studied trees before, not really. And it turns out that trees in general, they have 4 different primary sexual systems. Some trees are male, some trees are female, some trees are both genders at once. This fascinated me so much that I researched their mating patterns. And what I discovered is that some trees don't ever choose a gender. Some trees change genders when they feel like it. Some trees are pollinated by the wind. Some trees have flowers that have male and female parts on the same bloom. Some trees pollinate themselves. Some trees mate with other species of trees. Some trees don't mate at all. All of this is true. So then, my curiosity took over because I realized that a whole other world existed. And I wanted to know how it worked, what it meant. That's not a term or even a question we scientists ask that often, the what it means part of it. Suddenly, for the first time in my life, I was asking what it means. And it was like this funneling energy inside me and this quest to know, to discover. So I completed the research on the most beneficial relationship markers between pollinators and papayas. And then I started branching out to ask questions that were burning in my mind, and not just about plants, but about animals too. Because I started to realize that everything I'd always assumed to be correct about nature, the way that it works in terms of relationships, was wrong. And I had to approach this with a beginner's mind, to assume that I knew nothing. And when I cleared my head of preconceptions, the whole world opened up and allowed me to really see it. Here's what I found. The vagaries of nature are innumerable and profound, particularly as it relates to relationships. Now, I had always assumed that plants, that animals were heterosexual across the board. Like, I had assumed that procreation, the continuation of each species would be first and foremost, would be the only driver in the mating habits of all creatures. As a Darwinian, I have been trained to think that. But I was wrong. We all were. It turns out that sexual patterns and behaviors among all creatures varies. Almost as if sex were comprised of thousands of languages, each spoken differently by a different creature. Okay. Now, I can see that I'm not being as clear as I should. Here's what I discovered about animals. Heterosexuality and homosexuality and bisexuality and more coexist peacefully in the animal kingdom. Gay, straight, bi, asexual. These are rigid categories humans assign to themselves, I think. Because from where I sit, from what I have actually studied with scientific rigor, the natural world is not caught up in gender or sex. It just isn't an issue. Okay, to be specific, of the animals I have specifically studied, giraffes are gay. Dolphins are gay. 30% of geese are gay, and they mate for life. 20% of swans are gay. 85% of Western seagulls are lesbian pairs. Macaques are gay. Bison are more gay than straight. 30% of Hawaiian Laysan albatrosses are lesbians, and they mate for life. Bonobos are the closest living relatives to human beings, and they are 100% bisexual. Sexual behavior between the same sex can be found in all species of the animal kingdom. That includes not just sex, but courtship, emotional connections, life partnerships, and child rearing. And wait, there are more. Fish, lizards, dogs, pigeons, polecats, elephants, penguins. Yes, you heard that right. There are gay pigeons. There is no homophobia in the animal kingdom. None. So today, I published my study, the study about sex and its function in different animal societies. It's in a scientific journal. I want people to read it. Because people, humans, we need to accept we're animals too. Now, maybe we need to learn from other animals because sex, gender, They're just part of being here on Earth. That's all they really are.
Hi, I'm Gerard, the playwright behind Tupelo. Tupelo takes place in the not-so-distant future of southern Florida. It follows siblings Gaia and Ren, who savor sweetness on their perishing planet. I wrote this play to take the blame of global warming off of people like you and me. I hope this play reminds us we should take a little time to enjoy the sweeter moments in our lives, while governments and corporations destroy our home far more than you or I ever could.
Look! Look! What? What is it? Take a guess. It's a bug bite, but so what? You better hope that mosquito wasn't carrying anything.
It's not a mosquito. Take another guess, please.
An ant? I don't know. I'm not into insects and stuff like you are, so I really don't understand.
Forget it. It's a bee sting.
You know bees can't survive around here anymore. And why would you joke about bees anyway?
I'm not joking this time, Ren. Look, I still have it.
You killed it? What's wrong with you?
I didn't. It's a honeybee. It died after it stung me. You know I wouldn't kill it. Don't you remember anything Grandma taught us?
That's enough. Take the generator out to get some sun. I need to watch the news tonight.
Come on. Enough with this stupid water war updates. Can we watch something for entertainment tonight?
Just bring the generator out before the sun goes down. Electricity went down again this month, and we need to use the generator as much as possible.
This prediction comes after Key Biscayne becomes the latest Miami neighborhood to be submerged entirely, 4 years earlier than expected. Switching gears to the water conflict in the Middle East, troops have been sent to ease the tensions in the region.
I don't see how you can watch this. It's so depressing. I mean, fighting wars over water, where's the logic?
Water is the new oil, G. They'll fight over clean air if it gets that bad. Now, turn the TV back on.
No. If we can't watch something fun, let's talk about earlier.
Talk about what? Is your arm okay?
You know what I am talking about. You never want to talk about all the changes we've experienced. I mean, I got stung by a bee today. What's it been? 5 years since we've seen one around?
What's the big deal? Things aren't going back to normal, at least in our lifetime. Maybe the environment can sustain bees again. Big deal.
Maybe not, but this should give us hope. If this bee is out there, there are probably more.
So what if there are 1,000 more bees somewhere flying around Florida? You think that'll bring her back? Think that that'll change the fact that our lives are hell because they didn't listen to people like her?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Ren.
Then what are you saying?
Do you not remember what she used to tell us?
Always protect each other.
The poem, Ren.
It's been so long. I haven't read that since her recomposition.
I don't remember the entire thing, but the last part always stuck with me. You can poison our water, cover us in black snow, but you'll never take our honey. We'll always have our Tupelo honey.
So what? We've been rationing that one crate of honey jars since she died. We unfortunately won't always have our honey. I'm glad she did, though.
Maybe she was being metaphorical when she said that, but that was a honeybee that stung me. So maybe there are more making more honey. And I'm not saying with the help of a keeper, but naturally in the wild, like it's supposed to be.
Are you saying you don't enjoy artificial pollination seasons they've been doing for us? Allergies aren't that bad.
She'd die if she were here for that. And it kills other little critters in the process. That would drive her crazy.
Seriously, like I'd like to hear her thoughts on what's going on lately. She hated all those half-ass accords and silly little corporate regulations. She always wanted radical policies that would save the bees, the Everglades, and even water supplies in the Middle East. Those are the type of changes that she's always wanted. That must be where you get your drive.
I think we both have parts of her. No one can make a drop biscuit like you two.
Well.
So, will you come with me tomorrow?
Where to?
I'm going out at sunrise to look for more bees.
I know y'all were close, but we have to focus on what's important, and that's just surviving.
Fine, I'll go alone. You never liked the outdoors anyway. Remember when you'd be too busy buying up the latest fast fashion items, when Grandma and I were out picking up litter? She always told me there might come a time when I'd be alone.
Let's not start that you'll never be alone. I'd admit before anyone, I didn't do my part until it was too late. But millions, hell, billions didn't.
Well, if I'm not alone, prove it. Anyway, the news is over, so let's use the last bit of generator to watch something fun.
Fine. Just this one night, though. The news is the only thing connecting us to the outside world, especially on weeks where we have travel restrictions. Nothing gory, though. Good morning, Sleepy. What happened to waking up at sunrise?
Couldn't sleep last night.
Well, I figured I'd make us a nice little breakfast before heading to hunt for honeybees. Ah! Hold your horses, Greedy.
We promised we'd only use her honey for special occasions.
The bees are back. This is a special occasion now. Eat up so we can get going.
Ren, I don't think I want to go anymore.
Yesterday, you were so excited and went on about being all alone all the time. So I'm joining you. Eat up.
Last night when I was up, I was thinking Maybe I was so excited about getting stung because I thought that somehow this was a sign that things were getting better. You know, Grandma used to tell me that if the planet could provide for something so small and delicate and so important to our ecosystem, like the bees, then there was hope it could provide for us too. When the bees started to disappear, I thought that well, it was only a matter of time before we'd be gone after. I thought maybe she was right, that if the smallest of creatures couldn't naturally survive, then how could we? This incident made me feel like a kid again. It gave me hope that things will get better, than that we wouldn't have so many regulations. It was the first bit of hope I'd had since she'd been gone. Maybe she was being metaphorical, but I think she was right.
Right about what?
That all we have is our Tupelo honey. Meaning, everything we need to survive is right here. Yeah, things are grim out there, but we're all we need.
So you don't want to go looking?
Not really, because what's it going to change if there are 1,000 bees? It won't bring her back. It won't fix this mess. She always told us that we were never the problem. They enforce these rules and regulations on us, like we're the leading cause of all of this.
And she was right. We still aren't the problem. It's always been these corporations and governments destroying our homes and then pointing the finger at us.
Yeah.
Keep track of your carbon footprint. Recycle. Switch to solar energy, but they didn't care when she was alive, and they don't care now. That's why we are dying fighting a water war.
So let's enjoy our drop biscuits and honey while they destroy the planet out there.
Now you're seeing me. We did our part, and that's all that matters. And when things go sour, we'll always have our Tupelo honey.
Hi there, I'm Lauren Morris. I'm the director of The Right Kind of Marigold. And our wonderful playwright, Rachel Graff Evans, was someone who moved around a lot. And as she was moving around a lot, that meant that she was always the new kid in an unfamiliar place. But in the summers, they would come back to the States and get to visit her grandparents, and especially her grandmother's garden. That grandmother, by the way, is 100 years old now and has the greenest thumb of anybody she's ever known. This is a play about belonging, about being an insider or an outsider, and ultimately about choosing courage in the face of the unknown. Enjoy.
Good morning. Here we are, another beautiful day in this beautiful garden where I am the most beautiful of flowers.
Good morning, my love.
Good morning to the world, even those who are less than positive.
I'm plenty positive. I just don't feel the need to boast about it.
Just because I can stand on my own doesn't mean you need to resent me.
That's not why I resent you.
Please don't fight. I love you both. You are both perfect as you are.
And me? What about me?
I love you too. I just love you all. You guys love me?
I mean, you're a cucumber plant.
Yeah.
I love you, Q. Never change.
Well, I can't promise that, but oh.
Good morning, my darlings, my vegetables.
Good morning.
Oh, cucumber, you're doing very well. Look at these.
I grew them just for you.
What about me? Your beautiful flower.
Flowers. Hello, I am not a vegetable either, Sunny. I am a flower.
We are not in the same caliber of flower, Roger.
Look at you.
Yes, look at me.
All right, I have some news, my little ones. Today is moving day. Well, for some of us anyway. As much as I wish I could, I can't take all of you with me. And I wanted to tell you myself so that you don't feel abandoned. I wanted to water you one last time. Oh, help. I forgot my watering can. I'll be right back.
Is she serious?
She must be.
Well, obviously, I'm going with her because I'm the favorite.
Yeah, obviously I'm going too because I am also a flower.
What about you, Blue?
I don't know, Q.
I don't know either.
She'll probably take you. She was pleased with you today, and you get along with everyone.
But you've been around the longest. Loyalty has to count for something, right?
The way I see it, you are either useful or enjoyable, or you're just a waste of space.
Ouch.
I wasn't talking about you, Roger.
Oh, I know, because I'm very useful. You might not like me very much, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to help you stay alive. Keep the bugs off ya.
It's fine. It's fine. I've lived in this garden a long time anyway.
I don't think you're a waste of space, Blue. I don't think that at all.
Thank you, friend. I really do appreciate that.
I mean it.
I'll miss you.
I don't know that I'm going.
We'll see.
String beans, my Kentucky blues. You were the first plant I grew in this garden, and I will never forget you. When I moved here, I tried to bring my Kentucky Wonder with me, but it didn't make it. So I wouldn't want to do that to you.
I understand.
Cucumber, you're young, but already so strong. I was trying to figure out if there was a way to take you with me because I am so pleased with how you've been growing. But I mean, I think at this point that, like the string beans, you are just so intertwined with the trellis that I fear I would put you at a greater risk. So I'm going to leave you with the string beans. You two can keep each other company.
We will. We will.
You, Sunflower, you will be coming with me.
Just as I expected.
It seems I had the wherewithal to plant you far enough away that we can dig you up without compromising your root system too much. I know exactly the place I'll be putting you in the new spot. Oh, and you, Marigold. See, when Wilma gave you to me, she said you were a marigold. Little did I know that there were 3 varieties of marigold. Plus, you gave me a rash, so you'll be staying. I'll get the right kind of marigold in the new house. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm a mistake?
This way you get to stay with us. You're still a great marigold in my book, even if you're unconventional.
Oh, I'm a mistake. I'm a mistake.
No.
At least you're not going to be all alone.
Miss, I'm the most specialist flower ever, and the bestest of all time suddenly regrets being the most important. Cry me a river. She never wanted me.
I'm just saying, I won't know anybody what if I don't make any friends? And what if the new marigolds are mean?
Meaner than Roger?
Sonny, you'll make friends in no time. If that's what you want to do, anyway.
How do you know?
Because you're so confident and because you're very pretty.
Do you really think so?
You don't? Literally, you tell us that every 10 minutes.
I don't know. It's easier to say it than believe it.
I am sure that if you set your mind to it, you'll make friends. You might want to be nicer to them than you were to us sometimes.
Like maybe nice at all.
Roger!
What? Listen, we're never going to see her again, so we might as well be honest, right?
It's one thing to be honest and another thing just to be mean.
Yeah, don't be mean.
We still have to live with you.
I guess it's not really worth being the best if it's just you. I don't want to be alone. So even if I didn't appreciate you as much as I should have,
at all,
I'm going to miss you guys. You matter to me.
I love you so much.
I've had a lovely idea. Would you look at this? I was trying to figure out how to not take everything and the kitchen sink, and I realized that I could probably spare one of my citronella candles. The new house has a screened porch. What a treat. And so maybe if I put this out here, the new family will come discover you and decide to keep up the garden. I do hope so. It's worth a try anyway.
What are you going to do with that?
You'll be okay. You are strong enough to stand on your own, remember?
Standing is one thing, but this.
You're resilient. You got this.
Goodbye, my darlings. Mwah.
I love you, Sunflower! And I always will! I'm really gonna miss her.
I am too, Q. Strangely enough, I am too.
Hi, everyone. I'm Damian Lockhart. When you begin living on your own, you suddenly realize that some habits that you formed in your childhood home won't leave you alone. Jack only moved to Atlanta 2 years ago, and he found that one of the things he carried over into his adult life is a devotion of recycling. Upon visiting the center in Smyrna, he realized something familiar about it. Recycling centers seem to be infused with a sort of hopefulness. Everyone there is making an effort to better themselves and the world around them. Under the right circumstances, recycling centers can be places of healing, which is what inspired him to write this piece.
Oh, can I help you?
No, it's just, do you guys do glass?
We haven't done glass for a few years.
What?
Just the way it goes sometimes.
Why not?
People don't want it.
Well, I don't want it either.
I'm not sure what to tell you.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Throw it away, I guess.
I can't throw this away. So what, it'll just go to a landfill?
Take it up with the state. I am just a volunteer.
Whose stupid idea was that?
I don't appreciate your tone.
I just don't want to take this back home.
That's your problem. Oh, come on now. Wait, please. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I didn't mean to upset you. I'm sorry. I've just been out in the sun all day, Gets to you.
I just don't know what to do.
Put the bag down. Sit down for a sec.
No,
Sit.
I can't take your seat.
I got another one. Sit. Keep going if you need to.
Crying? No, I'm I'm good. I'm good.
I can tell you're not.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just embarrassed.
Oh, don't be. If an old lady at a recycling center set you off, you've needed that for a while. You've never been here before, have you? Yeah, would have seen you if you had. I'm here a lot. I was pretty upset when they told us they weren't taking glass anymore. Not quite that upset, but seems like such a simple thing. Melt it down, make something new. Nothing hard about that. Couldn't understand why they stopped.
I guess I just thought glass.
Well, I would if I could.
Hold there. And the microphone thing had been perfect until just now. So can we just back up to Greta, your line about it seems so simple, or I was upset. Sorry, I don't have the script up.
Okay. You want me to start at the beginning of that little paragraph? You've never been here before, have you?
Yes, please. 1 second. Okay, when you're ready.
You've never been here before, have you? I would have seen you if you had. I'm here a lot. I was pretty upset when they told us they weren't taking glass anymore. Not quite that upset, but seems like such a simple thing. Melt it down, make something new. Nothing hard about that. Couldn't understand why they'd stopped.
I guess I just thought everything glass.
Well, I would if I could.
Sorry, y'all. It did it again. Sully, can you just say that line?
Nicole, is it possible that this is a feedback coming from Miss Greta's computer? Like if she were wearing headphones.
Maybe, but I hear it or I see it coming out of your screen, so I have no idea. Do you mind just saying the line, seeing what happens?
Yeah, I guess I just thought everywhere took glass.
All right, we got it once at least.
If you want, I can wear headphones.
It's just so weird that it doesn't happen all the time. Can we just go back to the cue line for that, Greta?
Just the line before or the whole paragraph?
I think just the line before.
Okay. Nothing hard about that. Couldn't understand why they stopped.
I guess I just thought everywhere took glass.
I would if I could, but everything's a business decision. It really is a waste. You got so much. The cheap stuff.
It's basically just juice.
I used to drink this myself. Almost too sweet.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Could have fooled me.
They aren't all mine. I've been holding on to them for a while.
A few years, I'd guess.
5.
5 years? Long time. I only drank it for a year or two. Then my husband finally got through to me. He was big in bourbon.
What does he drink now?
He died, actually.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
No, it's not. What was it like being married? I mean,
I was married 45 years. We got engaged when I was 18, so it was normal. Hardly remember life without him. Now, even now, 3 years later, sometimes feels like I'm gonna walk around the corner and bump into him.
that's awful.
It's not so bad.
What?
Better than forgetting about him.
I mean, I guess, but
But what?
I mean, doesn't it make you sad?
Of course it does.
And you'd rather be sad?
Who are you trying to forget about?
Nobody. Well, I don't know. I don't want to forget her, but I don't know. I don't know.
A woman. The woman you drank all these with.
Spent a long time with her.
Sometimes it's just not meant to be.
She died too.
Oh, sweetie, you're too young for that.
And I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop being sad. I mean, we collected these together and they were just sitting there on my shelf, taking up space, staring at me. I had to get rid of them. And if I could get rid of them, I thought maybe I can move on. But I don't want to throw them away.
Of course not.
So what do I do?
Well, talk me through it. You get rid of these bottles, then what?
I don't know. I'm not reminded every single day.
Really?
I think.
Nothing else reminds you of her? I mean, you loved her. You'll always be thinking about her. Just the way it is.
So I'm trapped?
Take it from me. You don't ignore sadness. You don't package it up and give it away. You got to do something with it.
I don't.
Smash them.
What?
You want to, don't you?
No.
They're just bottles. They don't mean a thing. I mean, she was the important thing, not these.
I'm not angry.
Sure you are. And besides, you don't have to be angry to break stuff. When my husband died, I trashed my house. Couch upended, bed against the wall. Catharsis. Process these feelings. Get them out.
I don't want to.
You just told me you did.
I can't break these.
You can. Do it. Let it out. Come on. See?
Yeah. Yeah.
Feeling it better?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I kind of made a mess.
It's a messy process, but it's good for you. Now, you're someone new.
This This excerpt is from the play How to Be Alone at the End of the World. It was commissioned by Actors Express for their intern company, and it looks at different moments throughout history when we thought the world might end. Ironically, the production was shut down due to the 2020 lockdowns. In this scene, it is the year 2050, and Zane is contemplating how to take control of her destiny during a global catastrophe.
Oh my god. Oh, come on, exist. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. No connection. Oh. Day 257. A sliver of hope. Signs of connection to the network. The device cycled through to the final stage, then failed to connect. We'll attempt again. Today is December 31st, 2050. New Year's Eve. Also my birthday. I would have been 25. I am 25. Still no contact with humans. If this next attempt fails, no further attempts. Wow. You can see everything from up here. Oh, shit. Asthma attack, pneumonia, heart attack. I could suffer. But a fall from this height, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Come on. Beep. You are my last hope. Oh. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Please be out there. Someone please be out there. One more. Come on. No! Oh! 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 My name is Zane Miller. I feel and fear that I am the last human left on Earth. It's probably silly and vain to leave a note, and frankly, pointless. Who will hear it? There is no you out there, there is only me. I need to believe someone could theoretically hear this one day. aliens, cyborgs, or whatever. I remember learning about other planets in school for that brief period of time when I had friends. And a glittery purple and green lunchbox, and a ponytail tied with a satin ribbon. Jupiter, Saturn, the gas giants. They taught us our planet was the only one that could sustain life, but maybe those dead planets are all that remain of civilizations that once existed, like ours. Someone, somewhere else, fucked up too. So, if you're listening to this and you're an alien from a galaxy far, far away, I want you to know what happened to us. I want you to know how it happened. Please, don't repeat our mistakes. I've spent most of my life outrunning death. I tried to be strong, show no emotion, get the job done, survive. I thought if I stayed busy enough or distracted enough, all my friends and family wouldn't die. When I was little, the end was only around the fringes of my life. A pandemic in a country across the ocean, fires that took out the rainforests. We still thought it'd be okay. My parents drove electric cars. Everyone recycled. They made paper straws instead of plastic. Then the earthquakes, floods, pandemics, fires, food and water shortages, more gun violence. And every time my mother went to the supermarket, she hugged my brother and me, told us how much she loved us, reminded us where she kept all the important papers. Then no grocery store. Water in short supply. My father was a behavioral scientist. We were a family who believed in climate change. They made sure we were prepared, stockpiled canned food and water to last for years. The air became thick and heavy. A newborn's delicate lungs turned black after taking their first breath. And that's when everyone moved down into the underground bunkers. We connected with other humans through the network, the worldwide virtual reality system. We became images projected onto a screen, interacting with our friends and neighbors in a simulated reality. In houses that still looked like houses and eating food that still tasted like food. The only thing that couldn't be simulated was the air. The air still felt heavy and tasted like coal and dust. My father decided to speak out publicly against the network. Said it couldn't replace human contact. We should live in underground communities, not bunkers. Loneliness sends misleading hormonal signals, rejiggers the molecules on genes that govern behavior, and the brain switches into fight or flight, and we see danger when it's not even there. They had my father killed. Everyone stayed in their bunkers, protecting themselves. Gradually, the images on the network began to disappear. The network became an empty place. My brother was shot when he gave water to a woman who collapsed outside our door. My mother's lungs became so weakened by the air, she coughed up chunky blood for a week, caught pneumonia, and died. Her last words were, don't let them take the peas. We were told not to leave the bunker. Whatever you do, stay there, stay put, stay quiet. I stayed in my bunker. Alone. I tried to connect to the network, but nothing. I read old books left over from what felt like a lifetime ago. I cried in terror. Then one day I made a choice. I had forgotten what that felt like. A decision. Leave the bunker. I knew I'd die, but I hoped there was someone else. And when I emerged, there was no one. It's like I'd been left behind. You know, it's funny. The end of the world didn't happen like how we expected when I was in school. It wasn't a singular catastrophic event or comet collision. It was a slow, horrific unveiling. And the worst part is the loneliness. It feels now like I was born into it. And when I was little, all I wanted to do was catch fireflies in a jar and watch them light up, like in this old book my grandmother used to read to me, but I never could because all the fireflies were dead. And what makes me so fucking angry is that I didn't get to choose to live like this. I didn't get to choose any of it. Not one single thing in my own life feels like it was my choice. The life I could have had, it was taken away from me. The people who did this to our planet, they never cared. Not about me. I don't care that I never had a first kiss or a breakup, or that I never learned the workings of someone else's mind. They don't care that I wake up every day in pain, or that I can't even tell where it's coming from or what hurts, this all-consuming grief. The only choice I can honestly say I've made for myself is leaving that godforsaken bunker. But I can't live like this anymore. I can't be strong for another second. I don't want to just survive. I want to melt into someone's arms, and I want to be seen, and I want to see them. And I want to love, and I want to see the Grand Canyon, because in school, when I was in school, it seemed so majestic. And then I remember I will never see the Grand Canyon because the Grand Canyon isn't even there. Everything is gone. Oh. I can't survive alone. It's too late. It's all too late. We waited too long. I waited too long. It's too late. It's all too late. We waited too long. I waited too long. Everyone is gone. There is only me. If there's one thing I've learned in my short life, it's that choices are limited. Choices are limited, but there's one left I get to make.
We picked up a signal. Don't worry.
We won't hurt you.
We're living down in the basement of the old hospital. We found some oxygen tanks, medicine. We've planted a small garden.
We're waiting to see if it grows. Join our community of survivors.
I'm Zane.
Yay! Yes,
Yay.
thank you for being here. That
Thank
was
you.
fun.
Thank you so much. What a blast.
Yes, thank you to our audience. Thank you to our artists. This has been a lot of work, and thank you for being part of it. Be sure to tell your friends how much you loved it so they can look it up and see it themselves.
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks to our sponsors again. There's a list of everybody that is supporting us. We so appreciate it. And all the individuals that are here tonight, we thank you for being with us. Thank you for supporting our talent. This is a chance for people to stretch their wings in a lot of different ways, experiment with things. It's low risk. We can try some things. That's what's great about this Zoom world is we can give things a try and give people a chance and see what comes out of our experimentation. So that's a lot what tonight was about experimenting and see what we came up with. So we hope, thanks for being with us for that. We have other things coming up to tell you about. We have a new show called Southbound, True Life Tales from the ATL and Beyond. Our first two are up online on our website. The first one's called Beginnings. The second one is Mom Tales, a Mother's Day episode. And the next one's going to be our Juneteenth episode on June 14th. So that's also a Zoom show. There's 4 storytellers and at least 1 musician every time. So you'll hope to join us back for that. Hopefully back soon live, not quite yet, but we're working on it. Just stay tuned. We'll see what happens next. And if you want to, if you like the show, if you want to make a small donation, we'd love to have your support so we can help share the love with our artists. I think that's all I got to say.
Other than that, thank you for being here and do your part for the earth.
Yay, Earth Day. Woo! Everybody say yay!
Everybody's Earth Day.
Yay! Earth. All right.
The only one we have.
Recycle, reuse. Here we go.